But to 5 red lights we go for the first race in Division 2, sorry, Season 2 of XRS Round 1. And that's the first safety car start we have. When is Dodo going to go? He is going to go now. Overtake is on. And he has gone. Is Nicholas going to be able to try anything down into turn 1 as we are finally back to green flag running? You can see Nicholas there in the background. He is gaining, he's gaining. He's going to pull to the inside. And is he going to be latest on the brakes? No, he does sit behind. MILLRD isn't going to go for the overtake on Nicholas, but Mattia is very close to that. Williams might be trying to make an overtake himself. Ayahushka there is down the inside of Koi and has got the position. Koi has to stay in P8. Thomas there is going to try and look one round the outside of the McLaren. Will have to sit behind, but then move to the inside as we go into the De La Rocha chicane, but nearly outbrakes himself, nearly going into the back of the McLaren there. There's yellow flags, I believe that is Suzuki round there, and has spun on into De La Rocha. Looking further down the order, not many other drivers making any moves, although I do see a few drivers going side by side there, nearly going side by side, which was probably between Chocolate. Oh, and that's Flair there, who has just spun it in the background, or Sanity's Fool in the background there. I just saw that, just lost it on their own, I do believe. Maybe some rear brake locking, and they will rejoin in P20. This is where all of the drivers are going to get the best top line speed. You can see MILLRD there as well, is trying to chase down that Red Bull, but that Red Bull is getting closer to Nicholas. Is this Red Bull going to maybe try and snatch P2 down the inside, and he is going to send it into turn 1. Under braking, is he going to be able to get it done? No, he actually elects to stay behind and maybe try it on the next lap. Quite smart there, but MILLRD touching the back of the Red Bull there, but the Williams still able to stay there. Oh, and Ayahushka there has taken the runoff into turn 1, so maybe outbroken themselves, and they rejoin in P9. But down the straight, Nicholas is still within a second, so he will get that DRS to try and protect himself. But Jonas, you can see, is all over the back, already down the side by side with the Aston Martin. And is that Jonas up into P2? Yes, it is, although they are still going to hold it side by side slightly. But then Jonas finally gets the move done. Nicholas will have to settle in at P3 with MILLRD trying to make an overtake on this Aston Martin to take P4 and round the turn 3 and into De La Rocha. There might be an overtaking opportunity, but Jonas is going to try and take the race lead here as he goes down the inside of Dodo into De La Rocha, and Jonas is now the leader of the Monza Grand Prix, and Dodo gets a massive snap of oversteer there, and he has lost out massively on that and may even join behind the McLaren, taps the McLaren for good measure, but he is still going to go side by side into the second Lesmo, who is going to be in front going into the straight, and it is just going to be Dodo in front. And the McLaren of Koi is still going to try and make an overtake as he thinks that he was probably forced off there. Koi, is he going to go side by side? No, he's going to stay behind. And Thomas nearly being a passenger in that incident and causing a crash there. I have no idea what happened there, but Dodo losing it. Koi and Thomas are still going to try and go side by side into Parabolica. They're still going to hold it side by side. Some great racing action here. And Thomas just has to slot in behind. Koi is going to get the DRS and the overtake on Dodo, but he's severely drained on battery. Thomas is trying to make an overtake on 1 and maybe even 2 drivers going into turn 1. Thomas has done it. Koi there on the inside. Is he going to be able to send one down the inside of the AlphaTauri? They are going to go side by side slightly, but isn't able to, and only gets the overtake on Dodo. Good racing there from Thomas, and he has made up 2 positions in the space of 2 corners. Let's look up at the front. Any moves being made? Not in the top 3, but Mattia, Ronan are going to go a little bit racy here, as Ronan going to go down the outside into turn 1. They are going to go side by side into turns 1 and 2. Adequate racing room is being left, so good racing between the 2. The Ferrari getting a snap of oversteer, did have the place, but with the worst exit, he doesn't get that place fully stick though. MILLRD is looking very close to Nicholas. I don't think MILLRD will try it into Parabolica, but down the straight, he might just have to try and get past. And you can see that he's already on the power. MILLRD already side by side. He might not even need DRS if he's already going to be past the Aston Martin, which he is. And now with DRS, he can maybe try and chase down Jonas. But is he going to be close enough to try and make him, maybe make a dive bomb, if I can even speak? But no, MILLRD is able to get up into P2 and past Nicholas. Thomas getting past Ronan, and there's about 3 cars in this battle. Koi is just sitting behind here, ready to pick up any scraps. But Thomas and Ronan are going to go side by side here into the De La Roggia chicane, maybe. They are still going to hold it side by side, but Thomas has kind of fell off a little bit. And Thomas just being able to stay in front of Koi, one of them being MILLRD. He wants this win. Do not count him out. He is looking very quick in that Williams. And as you can see, he is already trying to make a move on the Red Bull, but he is smart and he stays behind to try and get that DRS and overtake. Taps the back of the Red Bull there, but now down the straight is MILLRD, now going to be the new race leader of the Italian Grand Prix. You can see the straight line speed he has, and now he's going to get DRS and overtake, and you can just see as soon as he opened that rear wing, the straight line speed just comes to MILLRD, and he is now in the lead of this race. Jonas gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane there, which is going to be crucial to his race. Thomas also comes in as well, Chocolate in as well, and I am sure there's going to be a few more drivers pitting as we do actually have a safety car. I just clocked that as Wavy is out of the session, but all of them are coming in. So MILLRD, I presume, going onto the hard tyres, will ride on board with the Williams as we come into their pit box, and there is some hard tyres there strapping onto the Aston Martin. Nicholas out on medium tyres to go to the end. They will be very worn, but if he can make those work, then he will get a better race there. But Jonas there coming down the straight, he's passed the McLaren, he's passed the Aston Martin as well. So despite that, Jonas is still able to stay in P2, getting those last few tyre temps into his car before he then bolts. But when is he going to bolt? That is the question. Obviously not bolt as in the movie. Bolt is in the safety car restart, and that is it. He is gone, and I think he has caught Jonas napping a little bit as we start lap 17 of the Italian Grand Prix. Jonas is still being able, though, to stay in front of Nicholas. As you can see, Mattia and Thomas going side by side into turn 1 on this safety car restart. There's also another McLaren in the background there trying to make a move, but side by side is Mattia and Thomas. Thomas has got the move into turn 2, and he has been able to get him up into P5. Dodo there into P7. Going off the track there is Chocolate, you know, the Williams of Chocolate, and now going into turn 3. Casper around the outside of these two drivers, might even try and get the move on the Williams as well as we go into the De La Roggia chicane. And there's a crash there, which involves a McLaren and an Alpine there, involving Koi and Hayahushka. Some very bad luck for those two drivers. We're looking in a very good position there to try and get some decent points, but they have been sent tumbling to the back there as Casper wasn't able to get past Chocolate. Chocolate there is going to maybe try and send one down the inside of De La Roggia. He is going to do it, and he has tapped the Haas there of Epic OJ there, and that is heartbreak for Epic. As we do have a virtual safety car, as in that's Pumpkin Slayer in the wall with a broken wing, and yeah, not good for the Aston Martin. See though, the Red Bull trying to challenge Nicholas, so there might be a pretty big overtake coming up here as Nicholas there doesn't really get the best of exits, has kind of dropped quite a bit to that McLaren, and you can see Jonas with the DRS. He is going to try and make an overtake on the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin tries to cover it off as we might go 3 abreast here into turn 1. Not quite though, but it is still going to be side by side. You can see Thomas and Mattia going side by side there. The McLaren getting really close to the Red Bull, but Thomas with a really good exit there, and he has got past. Oh, and there's some drivers stopped on track there. Chocolate and Ronan probably being tapped round there, and I think a few drivers there have been tapped round there as you go 3 abreast into turn 3, and it is involving a Mercedes, Williams and Ferrari. Casper gets a 3-second penalty there into De La Roggia. They have to remain in single file line. A few more drivers going side by side. Oh, Chocolate is tapped round into Ascari. I didn't actually see what happened there, but MILLRD is going to be burning everything he has with the battery already on. Jonas is going to get the DRS. Is Jonas close enough? He's 3 tenths behind. He is going to get it. MILLRD is going to try and break the toe. Jonas down the inside, and he is going to take the lead of the Italian Grand Prix. Nicholas down the inside as well. MILLRD will have to settle for P3 if he can't get any better, but Jonas gets a really good exit there. MILLRD as well with another good exit, and he's going to look around the outside of the Aston Martin. MILLRD will retake P2, but these two are still going to be battling. Jonas has probably just been unleashed to take this win here, as Nicholas is going to go down the inside of De La Roggia, and there has been a bit of contact. Nicholas has lost out a lot on that. MILLRD maybe being a bit too aggressive there, going into there and probably forcing Nicholas off a little bit, but that is probably going to be P2 for MILLRD. Can MILLRD do anything into the final corner? He is going to try and catch up as much as he can, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Jonas is going to come around the final corner, and he is going to win on track, but with penalties, he is going to drop down. So MILLRD will take the race win here at Italy. Jonas will drop down to P3, maybe even more on penalties. He will drop down to P6. Nicholas will take P2, and Dodo is going to be on the final step of the podium before penalties post-race. Boomboy will settle for P4 with Thomas in P5. Casper will finish then in P7, and he has managed to make those softs work to the end. Mattia P8, Somatic Coast P9, Suzuki P10, Flair P11, Ronan P12, Phased on P13, Sanity's Fall P14, and Epic OJ will round off the points in P15. Koi then will take P16 with Chocolade in P17, and Pumpkin Slayer will be the final finisher in P18.